Have you ever wondered how a small island nation in the North Atlantic, known as Iceland, built its economy? Picture it, the late 9th century, when the settlement of this rugged land first began. The economy was as simple as the times, largely based on barter. This era, often called the Saga Age, was a golden age in Icelandic history, but the modern economic story of Iceland really starts in the 1950s. The 1950s in Iceland were a time of humble beginnings. The economy was fundamentally traditional, relying heavily on industries such as fishing and agriculture. With a small population and limited resources, Iceland faced the challenge of generating substantial economic growth. But like the hardy Arctic tern, Icelanders knew how to navigate through harsh conditions. Fishing and farming were the lifeblood of the nation, with the sea and the soil providing the necessities of life. The catch of the day wasn't just dinner, it was also an asset to be traded. A fish could be bartered for tools, clothing, or other goods and services, a practice that kept the economy moving. Meanwhile, on the land, farming was another pillar of the economy. Sheep provided wool for clothing and meat for the table, while cows offered up milk and cheese. The fields yielded hay for the animals and vegetables for the people, all of which were crucial commodities in the barter system. Yet, while the economy was primarily traditional, there were signs of change on the horizon. The traditional industries of fishing and agriculture were about to be joined by new economic forces. As the 1950s drew to a close, the stage was set for the next act in Iceland's economic story. As we move into the 1960s, Iceland's economy begins to take on a new shape. Fishing would soon boom, and the wheels of progress would start to turn. The saga of Iceland's economy was just beginning, and the next chapters would tell a tale of transformation, expansion, and resilience. The 1960s brought an economic boom to Iceland, all thanks to the expansion of its fishing industry. As technology advanced, Iceland's fishing industry found itself on the cusp of a new era. The introduction of refrigeration and larger fishing vessels allowed the nation to not only increase its catch, but also to preserve the freshness of its fish, boosting exports dramatically. This was a game changer for Iceland's economy, marking the start of a period of growth and prosperity. But, as we all know, every high has its low. The 1970s brought the global oil shocks, shaking the very foundation of Iceland's economy. As the price of imported oil skyrocketed, the cost of running the fishing industry, not to mention the everyday life of Icelanders, became increasingly expensive. The country, heavily reliant on oil imports, found itself on shaky ground. However, adversity often breeds innovation, and Iceland was no exception. The oil shocks of the 1970s prompted the government to look inward, towards its own abundant natural resources. The nation began harnessing its geothermal and hydroelectric power, investing heavily in renewable energy projects. This move towards energy independence not only reduced Iceland's dependence on foreign oil, but also put the country on the path to becoming a global leader in renewable energy. The 1980s brought another significant change: financial liberalization. Iceland opened up its economy to international markets, paving the way for a more dynamic financial sector. With less government control and more competition, the economy experienced moderate growth. This liberalization of the financial sector was a turning point for Iceland, allowing it to become more integrated with the global economy. With financial liberalization, the stage was set for the rapid expansion of Iceland's financial sector in the 1990s. This period of transition, from a fishing-dependent economy to a diversified one, marked an important chapter in Iceland's economic history. It was a time of change, challenges, and ultimately growth. The 1990s marked a significant shift in Iceland's economy, with the rapid expansion of its financial sector. With the country opening its doors to international markets in the previous decade, the financial sector began to flourish. Banking and investment became the new powerhouses, driving the economy forward with unprecedented momentum. This period witnessed a surge in foreign investment, which played a crucial role in the country's economic growth. The economy was no longer solely reliant on traditional industries like fishing and agriculture. The financial sector's rise brought about a significant increase in living standards for the average Icelander. with more opportunities and higher incomes becoming the norm. But the 1990s also saw the birth of another industry that would soon play a significant role in Iceland's economy: tourism. The country began to promote its unique natural landscapes, from its stunning glaciers to its geothermal hot springs, attracting a growing number of tourists each year. This not only boosted the economy, but also put Iceland on the global map as a must-visit destination. As we moved into the early 2000s, the financial sector continued to boom. Iceland's banks grew to be some of the largest in the world relative to its population. The economy was soaring, and it seemed like nothing could stop it. But as we all know, what goes up must come down. This financial boom eventually led to a devastating financial crisis in 2008. The collapse of major banks sent shockwaves through the economy, resulting in a severe economic downturn. Unemployment rates skyrocketed, and living standards declined. The country that had been riding high on economic growth was suddenly brought to its knees. The financial crisis of 2008 marked one of the most challenging periods in Iceland's economic history. It was a stark reminder of the volatility of financial markets and the risks associated with rapid economic growth. But as we'll see in the next chapter of Iceland's economic story, this small island nation is nothing if not resilient. The 2010s were a decade of recovery and reform for Iceland's economy. Following the devastating financial crisis of 2008, Iceland set its sights on not only recovering, but also restructuring its economic landscape. The country took a firm stand against the reckless banking practices that led to the crisis, implementing stringent regulations to keep the financial sector in check. However, Iceland's recovery was not just about bouncing back, it was about moving forward. The nation recognized that sustainable development was the cornerstone of a stable economy, so it continued to invest in green technologies, harnessing its geothermal and hydroelectric resources, and promoting eco-friendly practices. The result? An economy grounded in sustainability, resilience, and innovation. As Iceland transitioned into the 2020s, it emerged as a hub for innovation, particularly in the fields of renewable energy and technology. The country's commitment to sustainable practices caught the attention of the global community, positioning Iceland as a leader in the fight against climate change. The nation's focus on sustainability also extended to its tourism sector. Iceland promoted responsible tourism, encouraging visitors to appreciate the country's unique landscapes, while also respecting its delicate ecosystems. This approach not only boosted the economy, but also helped preserve Iceland's natural heritage for future generations. Fast forward to the present day. Iceland's economy stands at an impressive $27.84 billion, with a robust growth rate of 6.44%. Despite a population of just 372,899, the GDP per capita is $74,663. Although this represents a mere 0.03% of the world economy, it's a testament to the country's remarkable economic journey. And so, here we are. From the ashes of a financial crisis, Iceland has risen, stronger and more resilient than ever. The nation's recovery is not just a story of economic reform, it's a testament to the power of sustainable development and innovation. Today, Iceland's economy stands as a testament to the nation's resilience and commitment to sustainable development. The tale of Iceland's economic journey is far from over, but one thing is certain. Whatever the future holds, Iceland will face it with the same innovative spirit and unwavering commitment to sustainability that has defined its past. From humble beginnings in the 9th century to a remarkable economic stature today, Iceland's economic journey is truly impressive. Let's take a step back and look at the big picture. Starting with a simple barter system, Iceland's economy was largely dependent on traditional industries like fishing and agriculture well into the 20th century. But it was the boom of the fishing industry in the 1960s, powered by technological advances, that really got the ball rolling. The 1970s brought the oil shocks, a global crisis that hit Iceland hard, but this was a turning point. Instead of succumbing to the pressure, Iceland sought energy independence. investing in renewable energy projects and tapping into its rich geothermal and hydroelectric resources. The 1980s marked a period of financial liberalization, opening up Iceland's economy to international markets. This sparked the emergence of a more dynamic financial sector, leading to moderate economic growth. Then came the 1990s, a decade that saw rapid expansion in the financial sector and a rise in living standards. The early 2000s brought a financial boom, but this was a double-edged sword. The banks grew too large, too fast, leading to a devastating financial crisis in 2008. But once again, Iceland showed resilience. It didn't just recover from the crisis, it implemented reforms to prevent a similar occurrence in the future. Fast forward to the 2020s, and Iceland is now a hub for innovation and a leader in sustainable practices. Despite being a small island nation, it has a GDP of $27.84 billion, with a growth rate of 6.44%. It may represent just 0.03% of the world economy, but that's a testament to its resilience and growth. So, as we look back at the economic history of Iceland, we see a story of resilience and innovation, of challenges faced and overcome. It's a story that continues to unfold as Iceland continues to invest in renewable energy and promote sustainable development. This brings us to the end of our journey through Iceland's economic history, a tale of resilience, growth, and prosperity.